We're here because free speech is under attack. We're here because people are being convinced that socialism works. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth.
Mayorkas impeached, a bad day for the economy, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. The Republican-led House of Representatives impeached Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas on a largely party-line vote Tuesday, succeeding on the second try after an embarrassing defeat last week. With the 214 to 213 vote, Mayorkas became the first sitting cabinet official in history to be impeached. The GOP has been pursuing the impeachment for more than a year, alleging that Mayorkas has willfully refused to enforce the nation's immigration laws, pointing to the record number of illegal crossings at the southern border in the past few years. Mayorkas has called those allegations false and defended his record. The GOP effort is expected to hit a dead end in the Democratic-controlled Senate, where a two-thirds supermajority would be needed to remove him from office. Joe Biden enabled his son Hunter to sell access to the United States' most dangerous adversaries, including the Chinese Communist Party, Russia, and more. The first son's ex-business associate, Tony Bobulinski, testified as part of the impeachment inquiry on Tuesday. Bobulinski, who worked with Hunter Biden to create the joint venture Sinohawk Holdings with Chinese energy company CEFC, and said he met with Joe Biden in 2017, testified behind closed doors at the House Oversight and Judiciary Committees on Tuesday. Bobulinski testified that from his direct personal experience, it is clear that Joe Biden was the brand being sold by the Biden family. His family's foreign influence peddling operation from China to Ukraine and elsewhere sold out to foreign actors who were seeking to gain influence and access to Joe Biden and the United States government, Bobulinski said. Car insurance premiums rose 20.6% in January from a year earlier, one of the many costs related to car ownership that continued to outpace the Consumer Price Index last month. A trip to the mechanic, the price of a parking space, and highway tolls are also up, offsetting any savings from one of the big exceptions, falling gas prices. Stocks dropped Tuesday after the hotter-than-expected inflation report for January spiked Treasury yields and raised doubts that the Federal Reserve would be able to cut rates several times this year, a key part of the bull case for the equity market. The Dow Jones Industrial Average lost 524.63 points, or 1.35%, to close at 38,272.75 in its worst session since March 2023 on a percentage basis. At its lows, the 30-stock index sunk 757.52 points, or 1.95%. The S&P 500 also slid 1.37% to close under 4,953, while the NASDAQ Composite fell 1.8% to settle at 15,655.60. The Russell 2000 also suffered, tumbling nearly 4% for its worst session since June 2022. The CDC is reportedly considering dropping its 5-day COVID isolation recommendation. Starting in April, the agency will instead advise Americans that they no longer need to stay home if they are fever-free for at least 24 hours without the help of medication and their other symptoms are improving. The guidelines under consideration which would mark the CDC's first change to COVID isolation protocol since 2021, come as most Americans have some immunity to the virus from vaccination or prior infection. According to experts, the decision would align COVID guidelines with those for flu and RSV. Democrat Tom Suozzi won a special election Tuesday on Long Island, flipping a seat in Congress from the GOP and sending a signal that his party can withstand Republican attacks on immigration in swing districts far from the border. Suozzi defeated Republican Mazi Phillip to reclaim his seat representing New York's 3rd Congressional District. The campaigns and outside political action committees have spent more than $20 million on ads and organizing, part of which centers on the record-setting number of illegal crossings at the border, already a point of scrutiny for President Biden and down-ballot Democrats heading into November. Turnout in the special election was low due to New York being hit with almost a foot of snow. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of The Raw Naked Truth at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcasts app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.